We are racing in 2024. Here they come up the hill. Adelson makes a nice move up the inside to grab second away from Luca Mars. The fight is on further back in the pack, though.
As we've seen so many times today on the initial start, that outside front row starter is always vulnerable to the third position starter, and Adelson does the same thing on Luca Mars there, arresting second position early.
Good getaway from Ellis, as you would expect. Now his job becomes build a gap for his co-driver, Jeff Burton, to nurse home in the second half of this race. Adelson, strong run up to the second spot. There's an aggressive move. One of the BMWs a little further back. Took a peek to the inside into the carousel, but settled back in line.
Really solid start for Varun Shoksky there, taking that number 28 ST Racing BMW. He'll share with Bill Aublin. Sabo in trouble early. This may be in the carousel.
Looks like it is. Just off to the inside. Drivers left, coming down the hill in the carousel. And Elias Sabo, who's making his first ever GT3 start here today. Safety car is out, as we can see, and unfortunately for Elias Sabo, he has now dropped a lap to the field. Not sure that the car necessarily has anything wrong with it, but the way that it's wedged into the hillside there, I'm not sure that it's not high-sided. Maybe simply can't drive away and needs a little extra assistance. You can see the intervention vehicle able to get to Elias and help tow him back onto this new surface here on the racetrack. The pole sitter controls the field, heading to the VP acceleration zone for the restart, and now he steps on the loud pedal. Bill Ellis starting to accelerate away from Adam Adelson, but Adelson coming under attack here from Luca Mars, who started on the outside of the front row and dropped back to third. He'll settle in line up the hill, but a battle further back here between Rothberg and Smithson, fighting for 7th and 8th.
Rothberg gets wide there through turn 2, has to give up the throttle a little bit. He's getting swamped right now.
Rothberg, one of a handful of these drivers that took part in the GT America race earlier today, so he does have some recent track knowledge, but just does go a little bit wide. That cost him a couple of positions as Sam Tan was able to get around, at least, possibly another car as well. On board with Samantha Tan. On the inset on the left-hand side of the screen, you see her co-driver, Neil Verhagen. What a great duo those two formed in the second half of the year last year, but Sam's got a loose race car to handle. That looked like a wild moment.
And there we see it, the 04 car, Bill Riley, totally on top of that strategy, trying to maximize the seat time here for Colin Brown.
Absolutely no surprise to see Riley knows the rule book, right on the ragged edge, but they make the call to bring George Kurtz into the pit lane and maximize the drive time now for Colin Brown, who has been a busy guy this year, racing in LMP2, racing in IndyCar, but now back in the GT3 machine, in which he won a Pro-Am championship alongside George Kurtz 1 year ago. This battle on track breaks off. It will be up to the co-drivers now to take it the distance. A couple of BMWs and a Mercedes making their way down this winding pit lane at Sonoma Raceway.
Yeah, a little bit more conservative, playing a little bit safer. You just got to look at the math and understand that and be sure that when you hit pit lane, it's right at the point of coming into the pit lane, you had to be at that moment in the race, 51.25 to go.
Samantha Tan giving over the car to the dynamo. That is Neil Verhagen.
There was overlap. He had to give it up anyway. It's going to be Robbie Foley behind the wheel of that Turner Motorsports car. If there's any overlap from the fast lane, even by like a couple of inches, you have to give it up by the time you get to pit out. On board here with Neil Verhagen, Robbie Foley up ahead. Two BMW factory drivers going hard at it here for position. For P4 in Pro-Am, P7 overall currently.
Drive-through penalty here for Racer's Edge. Zach Veach coming through. Not sure what that was for. PLS, pit lane speed, I'm going to guess is the acronym.
Yeah, wasn't sure on minimum delta time. It was just too much speed either by Luca coming in the pit lane or by Zach leaving the box. Colin Brown, who's second in Pro-Am, just ran a mid-32, so that's a huge delta, 3.5 seconds. Colin Brown is now 16 seconds behind Jeff Burton for the Pro-Am lead. There we go.
Change for the overall lead. Around comes Elliott Skier, grabs the position away, and now sets sail pursuing perhaps an overall win in addition to a debut Pro Class win for the Wright Motorsports team.
Yeah, Povolato is going to be pushing here as well, so Colin Brown has to tread carefully here and just think about the big picture. Not sure whether Povolato is aware of the situation. He dives down the inside and clears Jeff Burton, and for Colin Brown, he's just going to try and get on the power here. He'll probably make a move down into the brake zone into turn 11.
Here he comes, looking to the inside now. Burton starts to crowd down, in part to avoid the pit entrance there. Brown sweeps to the inside and easily takes the lead in the Pro-Am class with 25 minutes to go.
Okay, Jeff, just try and hang on to that CrowdStrike machine. See if you can learn something. Find a few tenths here. Give yourself half a chance to hang on to that podium spot.
This is not for class position, but this is Jeff Burton now with Bill Oberlin giving chase. Oberlin, second place car in the Pro class. And Burton will, I thought he was going to make way. Certainly not under any obligation to. And there he will. Give room up the inside. Oberlin is through. That is for third overall. And I think we had a close call earlier in the lap. This looks like Neil Verhagen taking a look, and yeesh.
That is a moment and a half. Adam Carroll does not want to give it up. Gets a little brush there right as he's fully loaded. Great car control.
With 4 pros, seasoned veterans all, despite the low age for a few of them.
Look at Verhagen looking to the outside. He's got to be careful, otherwise, no, he does the switchback, cuts to the inside, not close enough. Sellers can smell a podium here as well. He can take advantage of this situation if there's any argy-bargy.
Well, you said it. Verhagen looked wide, but then had to quickly cover off the inside because it left him vulnerable for an attack. Mercedes has Jeff Burton in the crosshairs. He goes wide. Here comes Verhagen. A big dive up the inside, and he'll grab the third spot away.
That was nice. That was nice. I don't think Adam Carroll expected it. And here comes Robbie Foley with a big run as well on Adam Carroll. He goes to the outside. Side by side with the BMWs. Can he tuck it back in? Carroll's going to force the issue here at Apex. Can't do anything about it. Brilliant opportunistic move by Robbie Foley there.
Carroll drops 2 spots to the 2 BMWs. Verhagen able to pounce first. Foley fights his way through. Now Brian Sellers will make an attempt to do the same. But now we watch here the fight for the spot here. Jeff Burton and Jeff Burton now and Neil Verhagen coming into turn number 11. Here comes Verhagen up the inside.
Foley will try and go with him, keep the pressure on that BMW. 2 BMWs now on the Pro-Am podium.
Yep. Brown continues to lead in the Pro-Am class. He is well ahead, about 38 seconds ahead, in fact, of this fight here. Both BMWs are through on Burton. Adam Carroll lining up the move next, but that's Brian Sellers, is right in his tire tracks. Burton goes wide. That should open the door for the 2 Mercedes. Very under control. Nothing hurried for Elliott Skier, and for good reason. 15 seconds is his closest pursuer overall. Colin Brown, 27 seconds back to Bill Oberlin, who's third overall, second in class, as they come to the white flag here at Sonoma. Leaders in the Pro-Am class, they wrapped up the championship at the Indy 8 Hour 1 year ago. Colin Brown, George Kurtz on the precipice of backing it up with another race win to start 2024. One more time into the hairpin. On this, the final lap of the first race of the 2024 season. Domination for Wright Motorsports. Elliott Skier and Adam Adelson kick off the season with a comprehensive win here at Sonoma Raceway. Colin Brown and George Kurtz will kick off their title defense in the Pro-Am class with a win of their own as the CrowdStrike by Riley Mercedes flashes under the checkered flag. Let's go ahead and take a look at the provisional race results. Adelson and Skier victorious overall and in class. 14 seconds the gap over the Pro-Am winners, Colin Brown and George Kurtz. Varun Choksi, Bill Oberlin. Great debut for Varun on the podium in his first ever GT3 race.